is, which eyes can help you to stop the addiction or the addictions?
Yeah. Well, that is tricky because the addiction itself is an eye. There's some eyes, and I see addiction as what we mean here, in terms people are not familiar when we say these eyes, is that in the fourth way, every impulse, we have many impulses as a thought, a feeling, a desire, a perception. All of this, they come from the four lower centers, from the intellectual center, emotional center, instinctive center, moving center, sex center. We have these eyes, and each one of them feels like it's me. When consciousness doesn't know itself and is more asleep, each eye becomes me, and consciousness is identified with each eye. However, they pass, they change, they are stimulus response. So that's what I mean by eyes. And addiction is it's a state where addiction is an attempt to soothe or to change an unpleasant emotional state, or some unpleasant state of mind, or state of the body, or state of the feeling. It's unpleasant. Maybe it's connected to a feeling unworthy, or feeling alone, or feeling without love, or feeling bad in some way, feeling bad and having bad thoughts.
But wait a second there. I mean, you are connecting this with another kind of language that, okay, psychology or something. But in the four way, I mean, where is that that feeling bad, I mean, it's like my emotional center feels bad, but the instinctive center, or what? It's like, where do you put that trauma or that thing that is going to be attached to the addiction?
Yeah, I mean, I'm using these psychology terms because it's more precise, so to say. Although, yeah, I don't know if you know, but Gurdjieff had a lot of experience with working with addiction. Actually, he was using hypnotism and other methods which I'm not familiar with, and he will help people, even if people that were not interested in awakening or to join his work. He was big on helping people recover from addiction, even people that were not interested in awakening.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Well, what I call, let's say, a state of unworthiness, or a state of feeling that something is missing, or I'll never be good enough, or I'm alone in the world, or it's too late for me, life passes me, or I feel so uncomfortable. Yeah, all of these words that I use, they are a combination. These are states, combination of a mixture of eyes from the emotional center, some feelings, with some embroidery in the intellectual center, some story, and then there are some unpleasant sensations. So these unpleasant states that we have, these are a combination of the emotional center, intellectual center, and instinctive center in a low state of consciousness. And there's a feeling of me there, me being very unhappy. And addiction and compulsion is basically starts from there. There is this unpleasant state that comes from all the centers. Now underneath it is underneath it is the state of self-forgetfulness, as well as wounds, traumas, deficiency stories, which from one angle, deficiency story, it's a strong sense of imaginary I that is like negative imagination about oneself. So that there's something underneath that, but that there is this unpleasantness, and then there is an impulse to alleviate this unpleasantness, and there comes the desire to have a vodka, or to desire to have cocaine, or desire to have chocolate, or desire to date, which this can come, let's say, can come from the instinctive center, or it wants something that is seemingly instinctive. I want my cookies, or I want vodka, is the instinctive center. But that instinctive center, you know, it is trying to alleviate this, to change the state. So that's what addiction is. So the question was which eyes can help to stop addiction. You know what is tricky is that in order to overcome addiction, this is a long work, and it's difficult, because even for the addict, so to say, there are some eyes that feel bad. There's like, oh man, I feel like shit. Okay, this is a group of eyes. Another eye is that I want to have I want to drink, or I want to have cookies. Now this is another eye. I must have it now. Now other eyes come that say, hey man, no, don't do it. It's not good for you. Remember, we want to give up. We want to be sober. We want to change our life. I want to, whatever. These are another eyes that come, but the craving eye is stronger. And it's like, no, yeah, it doesn't matter. Then it goes for the cookie or for the vodka. Then as it drinks, there's other eyes that come and says, oh man, look at you again. You're a piece of shit. You can't do anything. You're wasting your life. Yeah, some other eyes come. And then afterwards, there are other eyes that feel bad. Like, look, man, you've done it again. And so you see, all of these eyes are changing, and none of them is strong enough in order to really transcend this. It's none of them. So what is important is, from my understanding, what's important to actually try to bring this fourth way work, and it's more than fourth way work necessary to overcome addiction, but to bring this state of observing to all of these different eyes. That will be very helpful. Einstein said that the problem can never be resolved at the level of the problem. One needs to access a higher dimension in order to solve the problem. So what I'm suggesting here is to be present to all these eyes, the craving eye, and then the eyes that afterwards that come, and to beat myself up, and then the eyes that are trying to resist it but they can't. So to while feeling powerless and without actual much will, to try to maintain this state of impartially observing these eyes, rather than fight with them. If one gets in the fighting with them, one fighting with the other, that's at the same level. It's not going to work.
You think like, for example, like to say, oh, there is coming the eye from the queen of instinctive center that wish this, desire this. Okay, so then you say, oh, okay, it's fine. Okay, dear, you are welcome. Okay, you just observe it. You say, okay, I give you your space, but I'm not going to give you that. But it's okay that you manifest there, yes, and there is God. No?
Yes, like that. But however, an addict, a real addict that is an active addiction, cannot do that. The eyes come that want the vodka or the cookie, and there is no discussion here. Yeah, you cannot do it. So I'm just saying, and I know it's like that. There's no discussion. We are going to have this. You don't have the option to be like, hey, I see you, but I don't do what you say. In active addiction, one is powerless over it, and that I becomes boss. So what I'm saying okay, you're powerless. That I that wants the cookie is the boss. But can you observe? Can you observe? Although it does what it wants. And then after I have the cookie, there is this other eye that is really unhappy and is judging myself. Can we observe that one too? Yeah, so before we can actually have enough power or something that needs to happen to change, I want to evoke this higher dimension of being present to all of this crazy tortured show. So to be more present to the whole phenomena of addiction and different parts, to see how they change and all of that. So that I will recommend that. Then from my clinical perspective, I know that these bad states that drive the compulsion, they come from some hurt, wounded energies and pain body. And so what I like to do with people is to go there, to find out what is that pain that drives the compulsion, and using psychosomatic inquiry to process that. So just being present and here and now and being present, that's not enough for deeper traumas or addiction. It is important to really get in there, and there's stuff that are subconscious, to get in there and bring to the light of awareness the subconscious with its hurts and stuff from childhood and loneliness and abandonment and being beaten, being neglected. These are strong energies which are stored in the body, out of which come this sense of lack and this sense of bad states. But we are not consciously aware that what's the origin of it. So that's why I'm saying, yeah, have more presence to the whole addiction eyes, but then also go to the origin of the hurt and process, bring to awareness some of those initial trapped energies of the child. Now, which eyes can be helpful? Well, I guess if one goes through this cycle over and over and one is suffering, an addict is suffering, man, it's hard. I have a lot of compassion. So if it becomes more awake to this suffering and one does some processing, at some point there's a more conviction, like, man, I don't want to live my life like that. There must be another way. At some point there accumulates enough energy to have the right third force to, what? No, I don't want to, I'm wasting my life. I have here what to do. So, eyes like that can be useful, helpful. This kind of work eyes, bringing work eyes, reminding me about my values in life, reminding me about being, about self-remembering. So, yeah.